Hi, I'm Barry. I'm a retired electrician after 40 years, and I took up quilting in retirement as a hobby. I would have never thunk it. I never would have believed that this was my passion, but it is, and I love it. And so I don't consider myself a teacher, but I hope that I can inspire you. Maybe you don't even want to quilt. Maybe you crochet. Maybe you even do woodworking, whatever it is. The purpose that I hope that I can convey to you is to go out and live your best life possible, no matter what you do. You know, I think as seniors, we get in a rut where we just go through the motions of getting up, going through the day, go to bed, and just repeat. So I hope that I can sort of encourage you to go out and try new things, make that bucket list, check those things off the list. And today, the thing I'm going to check off my list is I'm trying to make a John Deere quilt. And this is going to be a sampler quilt. This is starting from all the classic blocks that I've learned over the last 10 months, sort of a refresher to me. And if you've never done it, hopefully maybe you get some ideas of what to do and what not to do. But if you want to check out my first video, I'll try to leave a link below. And this is the second video. Today we're going to do half square triangles 2 at a time. Now there's many ways to make these. I found, the very first way that I started making half square triangles was making them 8 at a time. And I thought that was the greatest secret ever, that you could make 8 at a time half square triangles. But personally, I like making 2 at a time. It's just relaxing for me. It's easy. They come out perfect most of the time. And I'm going to show you what I do, and you can critique it if you want. If that's your right. But this is the way I like to do it. And so let's see here. So what I've got is I've got 2 pieces of fabric here. You don't even need to put that other one down there first. But these are 5 and a half pieces of fabric, square. I wish it was a little bit lighter, smaller, but I use my 5.5 ruler to cut them out. It has a little bit of waste, but you know what? I'm perfectly fine with that because these come out perfect. And so what I do is I like to take the lighter fabric and I take a pencil, because the pencil will wash out, and you're going to cut it and you'll never see this. So this is how simple this is. So just take your pencil diagonally from one end to another and get you a line there so that you can see. And now I'm going to go out here and I'm going to stitch a 1/4 inch on this side. Then I'm going to turn it around and stitch a 1/4 inch on this line. And what I usually like to do is I let my foot ride right against this line as my guide. So I don't use, on these, I don't use a one of those feet with the guide on it. I'll just use this as the guide and just follow along. So hold on just a minute and I'll be right back after I sew these. All right, just like that, we're back. Now we're going to put our ruler back on that line and I'm going to cut it. And this is called, and if you're new, these are called seam allowances. The 1/4 inch seam allowance is the most popular allowance, so you can be off. That's why it's an allowance. That's I call it our little way of making mistakes and not have to redo it. The seam allowance. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press these and then press them open here, and I will be right back. All right, I got these pressed, but I wanted to update you on something. Here's I don't know if it's a tip, but yeah, sort of a tip. You can change your mind. That's the great thing about this hobby is you're not set in stone. You can change your mind. In the first video, I started making these out of a lighter green, and I thought it was the wrong color. And after watching the last video back myself, I realized that no, I actually like the first green. So I went back to the first green, and a lot of you commented that you thought the first green was the correct green, and I agree. So that's my rule. The rule is that rules can be broken. So we're back to the original green, and we'll see how it is. But now, some of you may freak out a little bit about this. I do have a little bit more waste than usual by doing it this way, but these come out so perfect all the time that I'm willing to sacrifice a little bit more fabric to get quality exact pieces. So what I do is I put, this is a 4.5 square ruler. I put my 45 right on the line here. Now some of you may have a block lock ruler that would work great on there, but if you don't, you know, just put this right on the line, and I've got plenty of sticky back on here that will keep this in place. And I mentioned in the last video, but I'll mention again here, I've started to learn to starch all my pieces ahead of time. It just seems like it gives a little bit more firmness, takes out all the wrinkles, and I just think it's a better quality block doing it that way. And like I said, we're not in a hurry. This is just more relaxation than anything. But there you go. That is the perfect half square triangle, and it's almost foolproof. I mean, you know, it's not hard to make a mistake. So let's see what we got here. Let's lay this out. This I'm going to make, I don't know if I told you this, I'm going to make a friendship star. So a friendship star is basically just 4 1/4 square triangles lined up here. At the angles are all going separate from each other. The only thing I will tell you about when you do this, make sure that when you lay it out, you sew it that way, because it's easy to shift these blocks around. So that's been my experience. Don't ask me how I know. All right, here we go. Oh, and I've got a surprise for you here. I've got my John Deere tractor that I embroidered. I bought an embroidery machine, and I got a file off of Etsy, and I like my little tractor here. It's a learning curve for that too. But if you don't have an embroidery machine, don't worry about it. But I thought this would add a little something extra there. But I'm going to sew across this way, then this row, and then sew these 2 rows together, and then add this row together, and it should give me a finished block of 12 inches when I'm done. There's other ways. I know some people commented to make, you know, like if you did the 9 patch, you can sew strips together and then cut them up. But so since this is a sampler quilt, I'm just doing 1 block at a time. And like I said, I'm not doing a mass production on this. This is for me, my enjoyment. And so that's what we're doing. So give me a second here. I'm going to sew this all together, and let's see how it turns out. All right, I realized after I finished that first little segment here and I started editing the video, the sound is probably not the best on this video, but you know, things happen. This is life. I wanted to show you, this is my finished block. Like I said, it's called the Friendship Star, and typically you'll see it with you know, the same color here in the middle, but I thought I would add this little tractor in there. But you can do that. You could put like the yellow in there. It doesn't matter. But yeah, this is a classic Friendship Star. It's been around forever. It's one of the most common blocks that you'll see, classic blocks. But it is half square triangles, and most of the things that you do in quilting are going to involve half square triangles. The way I just showed you, to me, is the easiest and the most accurate way to do it. Give it a try. But I wanted to just do a recap here. That's the one we just did today. This is the fabric that I'm going to use as my block that I'm going to use throughout the quilt. So we're going to have this, and then pair it up with this, and then this was the block that I made in the last video. And so the way, I don't know if I can get this all on camera, but this is the way that I hope that it's going to lay. It's going to be quilt block, solid fabric, quilt block, solid block, you know, etc. So there you go. I hope that was easy for you. But there's the friendship block. I can't stress enough, have fun at this. And even if you don't quilt, go find something that you enjoy and make the rest of your life the best of your life. And then, you know, like I always say, health is the most important thing. If you don't have your health, and I know people that are going through things, and so I just say, you know, it's easy for me to say right now I'm okay, but try to live your best life and take care of yourself. But before money, before tangible things, it's memories. Because to me, memories are what's most important after your health. So go out and make some memories, and I will see you later. Bye.